World, what is up? You are in tune to Marvelous Talk, and you have your usual suspects here. We're here with Big G. Big G, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm recovering still, man. I had a long weekend, but it was a joyous occasion. As you all know, my daughter graduated from college and family and friends, but I also got to go see that Doctor Strange. And man, we're gonna get to it.
All right, man. And let's see here. We got Max with us, man. What's good, Max? How you doing?
Man, just doing good, man. Getting ready to go on a little mini vacation. Saw Doctor Strange a day later than y'all, so you guys got that over me. I'm just enjoying it, man. Getting ready for some future stuff.
Actually, have seen Doctor Strange twice, man. And definitely before we actually go to the break and go to our intro, I want to say that if you have any questions, if you have any type of comments, make sure that you leave them in the comments, whether they be live or whether it be after the fact. We definitely want to hear from you. We definitely want to be a part of your universe too, as we're sharing. One thing I will say is make sure you like and subscribe. So like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch, so that way when we go live, you'll be able to hear us and know that we are live. I do want to say Doctor Strange is a sorcerer. He's the sorcerer supreme in the comic books. Wanda is called the Scarlet Witch. There needed to be expectations set, and I think that we said this, before the movie, that this wasn't going to be a movie for kids that we would take the kids to. But I just want to set that precedent because, I've been hearing a lot of comments about it being so dark, but I don't know what you would expect, because when it comes down to it, you're dealing with the Sorcerer Supreme and the Scarlet Witch. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get to the intro, and we'll be right back with you. And you are back, man, with Marvelous Talk. And it's your player partners, your big homies. And of course, man, we're going to jump right into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness talk. Max, talk to us, man.
Well, let's go over the movie real quick. We'll give the broad strokes, and then we'll deep dive it. So the movie starts. We see Doctor Strange, a little difference. Got some extra white streaks in his hair. I think he has a ponytail. He's with America Chavez. They're looking for this book of Ashanti. They get there, and then, Doctor Strange kind of does something you would expect from the old Doctor Strange, not the new Doctor Strange. He sacrifices her. Doesn't work. She escapes. And fast forward, then he wakes up, and it's all a dream. What was that? That's so weird. Doctor Strange goes to his ex-girlfriend's wedding, Christine. It's hard. It's kind of hard to watch. Tip to all the guys out there: don't go to an ex's wedding. It's not ever going to work out for anybody involved. But then a monster is attacking the city that no one can see. Is attacking America Chavez. And we find the monster wasn't just sent by some big bad, was sent by Wanda. Wanda wants to go universe hopping and go find her two missing kids. She attacks all the sorcerers on the planet. She has a pretty high body count. And we're only like 40 minutes into the movie. Doctor Strange and America escape into a really weird dimension. So things are a little different. Walk on red. Stay on green. There, they meet Mordo, who actually likes Doctor Strange. But it's all a front. He slipped something into their tea. They meet the Illuminati, whose members we'll discuss later. Doctor Strange and them are all on the run from Wanda with the help of that universe's Christine. And they kind of defeat Wanda. They open her eyes as Wanda discovers Mount Wintergore. and Doctor Strange taps into some of the most evil powers, becomes Zombie Strange, reanimating a corpse, fighting off Wanda as the mountain collapses around her, and we're left unknown what happened to her. And Doctor Strange kind of upped his game at the end of the movie, and he just shows why he's kind of the centerpiece of the Marvel universe, and America Chavez is getting trained in the mystic arts, and that's really all that happens. And it's very broad strokes. We're going to go into it right now.
Yeah, so picking up in the very beginning of the movie, I knew, we had talked about this before, and Big G had even said, hey, that place where the apple farm, that apple orchard was fake. He had said it was fake, but he thought it was Wintergore Mountain. But actually, it was just the dark hole. Anything that the dark hole touches, it totally turns black. You know what I mean? It kills it. It kills everything. So she was there. And the funny thing to me is I knew when she had said, well, bring America to me. At that point, I said, oh, yeah, they already got her, because he never told her the name, right? And I was like, she did herself. And she was like, yeah, the hex was the easy part. Lying was the hard part. So they already had set the precedent right there, Big G, of the anti-hero again, right? At some point in the movie, she would come true. But boy, did she ever go dark. Boy, did she ever go dark. And I think, G, and I'm going to give it to you on this part. Man, when she said, hey, this was me being civil, this was me being nice, I was like, oh, God, wait a minute. What do you think about that part, G?
I mean, it was her role becoming. She was basically telling you, I'm no longer Wanda Maximoff. I'm the Scarlet Witch, right? But the issue, this is the issue of the point that I wanted to make about that whole intro in the beginning, right? You found out that Stephen Strange is really the anti-hero. That's what you found out. Stephen Strange is really, 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 really the anti-hero because he told a lie at the very beginning. Stephen Strange told everybody in Avengers Endgame, there's only one way. And they lied. He lied. There's multiple ways. The way was him surviving, him not having to make the choice, him not being destroyed or offed, right? Because we see that later on. So, that's telling you that we thought that Doctor Strange was this hero or this guy that was just the greatest thing of all time. And in all actuality, he's a facade. And Wanda brought that up in the orchard. When they were talking, Wanda was like, how come when you do A, B, C, and D, you labeled a hero and a great dude? But when I do the same thing, I'm the bad guy. Don't seem fair, right? And so that persona of the anti-hero has been laid from the very, very beginning. But Doctor Strange is really the one who's the anti-hero. It ain't necessarily Wanda Maximoff. She plays a role, she plays her part because she's selfish as well. But Stephen Strange is really an anti-hero to me. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and she started being really Scarlet Witches. You know what I'm saying? She went back to the Civil War dark Wanda Maximoff at that point, right? Where she was doing a whole bunch of enchantments and getting behind and getting in people's ears and making them. I mean, like when she told Buddy to run, that was something. When they showed up at Carmitage, when she showed up at Carmitage, that was a scene for the ages right there. First of all, being face to face, and the way that she rolled up in the dark cloud, Max. Did that trip you out when she rolled up in the dark cloud? Like, hey, I'm here. Did that blow?
I don't think anything good's ever happened after a dark cloud has rolled into an area, and this movie definitely confirmed dark cloud. Bad things are going to happen. It's just shocking the fall for her, and this movie was really like a dueling banjos, right? And it kind of just switched off between Steven and Wanda and Doctor Strange, Wanda and Doctor Strange, and it's just switched, and it was kind of like. You saw Wanda tap into powers. Like when they lock her in the room, they're like, oh crap, she's using the puddles. She's using the reflections to come out. Yeah. And she just reaches out her arm and she's going to like take America Chavez.
Yeah.
And it just showed no regard. She had no regard for human life. She killed countless sorcerers who did nothing to her.
Right.
And, it's kind of hard to say, does she come back from this if you factor in what she did at the end, which we'll get into in a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think go ahead.
I got a question. Did y'all pick up on the whole, and I'm glad that Marvel did this, the whole Ashante, the actual book, the book of the Ashante as the book for the Darkhold, and how they were opposite, and like how both and how both books are books of prophecy, right? And like how the road to that book had multiple roads that led to it, which you could see that multiple different dimensions. Somebody knew something about that book. So that tripped me out at the very beginning too, man. That was like great. And the script play with Gargantos, as far as the digital stuff, man, that was off the hook, man. That was off the hook.
First of all, let me say something that I said earlier. I said that this movie was going to be very comic bookish, and it was. It was very comic. It was all over the place. And first of all, let me kind of pump my brakes real quick. Marvelous talk, watchers and listeners. Let me explain this to you. Right now, the MCU is very disjointed. In the very beginning, the very early phases, every movie you could follow. You could follow every movie. This is on purpose, you guys. This is on purpose that everything is everywhere, right? We're in the multiverse, but things are going to connect, because it would seem like Shang-Chi doesn't connect, right? It would definitely seem like Moon Knight doesn't connect. It would definitely seem like Hawkeye doesn't connect. There's a lot of things in the movies that we're getting. The Eternals didn't connect, right? But be of good cheer. It's going to turn around. There's things that are going to connect after and make sense after. They're just not making sense right now.
Well, it's just like doing a puzzle, and you just don't have all the pieces. So you might have a corner piece, which is the Eternals. But you don't have any of the pieces that connect to the Eternals, and that's what's key.
Right.
And, if you look at this movie, we've always talked about other Marvel movies. Like, some happen kind of in their own little pocket. Like, Black Panther was just like Wakanda. Nothing else really got affected. Whereas Captain America Civil War, I know it's an Avenger movie basically, but the reach of the movie is way further. Or you can say Captain America Winter Soldier 2, all of S.H.I.E.L.D. was disbanded.
Right.
So you could go with that. And it's just, even Thor, it was like, okay, Asgard's on Earth now.
Right.
So this movie, it somehow took place in its own little world, and yet went into several universes, and they tagged the universes, which is a big step. But was it 838 and 616? And everyone knew, everyone who's into it knows it's 616.
Right.
But for the casual person who doesn't ever research it, which is nothing wrong with that, now it's like, oh crap, there's how many of these universes out there?
Right. Hey, I also too, the big thing, or the big part that I saw, was them saying that America Chavez is the one that can really do and go across all these different bands of universes. And that's leading to Ma's point by saying that, there's an interconnectivity that's going on, that if you're not really like a deep dive comic book person, you don't see it. But we know, because we love comics and all whatever else, that this stuff is all intertied and intertwined. And at the end, you're going to see a big payoff. It's just going to take a while. You're not going to have an Avengers Endgame right away. But this movie is tied between Loki, Doctor Strange, Infinity War, What If. There's stuff that's tied in the WandaVision series that's tied in, but it's a larger paint stroke than what we're normally used to as far as the movies. So that should give our viewers some clarity.
We're headed to Secret Wars, no doubt about it.
We're
headed.
Oh yeah.
We're directly headed towards Secret Wars. You don't know what that is? Pop it in Google. Secret Wars, Marvel. You'll definitely get a glimpse of where we're headed, because all of the realities are going to stack on top of each other, and at that point, you're going to have Battle World, and it's on at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that has a bigger potential to be bigger than Endgame? If you factor in bringing back the classic guys, and it's like, hey, we just gave you guys like a 10-year break. We're only asking him to come back for 3 movies or 4, whatever you want to call, whatever you guys want to do. So I think we're headed there too. And not to get too far off topic, but we just talked about it being a puzzle, right? What the Illuminati in this movie is like basically giving us a piece of what the future looks like.
Right. Yeah. But they named it though. They have already said, and like I said, for those that are comic book lovers, they said they named the Incursions. The Incursions is when worlds start colliding on top of each other.
Yep.
And one sort of wipes out another one. Well, you know that the whole storyline of the Incursions is tied directly to Secret Wars. You know that. So, like for us as comic book heads, I was sitting in the theater, I was like, oh my God, they actually said the Incursions? That means that I know where we're going. It might be 10 years because, in order to have Battle World, you got to have so many heroes and so many villains. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You need that. I mean, I think that the gist of the matter here, Max, is when you go back to Doctor Strange and you're thinking we're in the Illuminati scene, right? So it's funny that she's eating pizza. I don't want to jump past that scene where the guy who was supposed to play what's his name? He was supposed in Spider-Man No Way Home, Mysterio.
Oh, Bruce Campbell. He
was supposed to play Mysterio. And, he's been in all the movies. And, she's eating pizza in the next universe. And Doctor Strange puts a spell on him where he starts beating himself up. That was hilarious.
That was an abuse of power. That was legit. 3 weeks? Like 3 hours, okay, I'm cool. Like 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. That was hilarious.
Total punishment.
So you got to understand, there were 3 things happening in this movie. There were 3 different stories being told. There was Wanda's story of hurt and grief and trauma, but it was love enduring, right? There was Doctor Strange's story where Max talked about this. Being at your ex's wedding is not a good idea, but it's his idea of love because he said, I've loved you in every universe. He said, I've loved you in every universe. That's love enduring, right? And then you had the overall character arcs of Wanda and Doctor Strange together, and they kind of married that together. So you were getting this ambiance of stories being told with love and trauma at the center of both, right? Doctor Strange's love for himself as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why, she was like, you always have to be the one with the knife. You know what I'm saying? She was saying you always have to be the one with the knife because he always, to Big G's point, the reason why it was only one way is that he couldn't trust Tony Stark with the knife. He couldn't trust the other Avengers with the knife. He was like, no, I can't die in any of them. If I die, it doesn't work, right?
Right.
So, definitely that's why he only saw one possible conclusion, and he was going to sacrifice Tony. If Tony died, everybody else is all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So basically, when that was that whole thing, we got love and we got trauma on Doctor Strange's part because we know that what happened to him on the first Doctor Strange is he lost the ability to use his hands, and that messed him up. And that's what sent him over the edge to him to go find this miracle healing and cure. And he became Doctor Strange as a result of it, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So now we're here and we're at the Illuminati scene, and he's standing in front of Christine. That's her name, right? Christine?
Yeah.
I'm even making sure. I'm bad with names. He's standing in front of her, and he's telling her, and she, like Max said, she's telling him about the different universes, and he's telling her, hey man, Wanda coming, man. Y'all, you bugging. Y'all can't handle Wanda for real. Keep her safe. And first of all, let's talk about how Mordo is literally still jealous of Doctor Strange in every universe. How in every universe, bro, you're jealous of this man? You know what I'm saying? In every universe. How we know he's jealous if he goaded him into a fight later. But Sean, why is Mordo tell me, why is he jealous of Doctor Strange in every universe?
Because okay, so you got to remember, Doctor Strange is a selfish character, right? So Mordo, if you really think about it, Mordo is selfless. the way that he's portrayed in the MCU, he's really selfless. Doctor Strange is selfish. So in every universe, it seems like Stephen Strange is the hero, but in all actuality, he's not. This was made a reference by one of the members of the Illuminati. I'm not going to mention the name. We're going to talk about it. But they said that you have to have heroes. So you got to paint somebody to be this particular person. They got to be the GOAT or they got to be a hero, right? So they painted Stephen Strange as that. But Mordo's the guy that's looking from the side and like, nah, dude, this dude ain't really a hero. He's selfish. But we make it seem like that because you're portraying that role. In the comics, it's really played out because Mordo and Strange are at it forever. And there's times in the comics where Stephen Strange is the straight up evil dude and Mordo's a savior. So, you know, they played on comics. They changed the role of it a little bit. But the issue was that you got it. If you got somebody that's got to be the hero, you got to have somebody who's the anti. So, you know, that's where that whole combative back and forth issue between the two of them, right? Even to an extent with Wong at Kamar-Taj. Wong's the Sorcerer Supreme, so he knows all the information, right? So Wong is sort of looking at Stephen Strange sideways too throughout the whole movie because he's supposed to be the hero where Stephen Strange, you really don't know what side of the table he stands on, you know? And I got to give a shout out to the Minotaur at Kamar-Taj, man, because that is a huge multiverse character that I know that we'll talk about as the show goes on.
Yeah, I mean, look, Wong being the Sorcerer Supreme is like Kenny Pickett being the number one quarterback in this draft. I'm just gonna say that real quick, and no shots at Steelers. I'm just saying, like, Wong ain't there as good. He's a real good. You know, he doesn't have a lot of talent. One, he's just a real grinder. He's gonna get you like 8 points, 4 assists, and just be efficient. But he's not gonna be the guy to get you over the hump. Wong can't do it. But what you guys were talking about Mordo, where Mordo's not really evil. It's just kind of like just the light you see him in. What did Mordo say to Doctor Strange at the end of Doctor Strange 1? Every action has like a, you know, reaction or like there's a price to be paid.
Positive or negative reaction, yeah.
The price to be paid is going to be the convergence. Yeah, that's the price. Yeah. Mordo's right again, and it just seems like Mordo just can't get one up, man. He's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he was like, I know Doctor Strange saved the day and crap, but he's like, yo, is saving the world this way worth the price of admission? And, you know, right now it seems like, yeah, well, you know, factor in 10, like, I'm sure, you know, Doctor Strange giving the time stone to Thanos.
Yeah.
How long was the gap? Like 5 years? Between, you think through those 5 years, people were like, great move, Doctor Strange. Real great one.
Right.
So, yeah, it kind of worked out, but, you know, there's always like the other side, and we just don't really seem to talk about it. And, you know, Mordo, you still a hater though. You know, you gotta be a little bit slicker. You don't gotta poison people.
Right. No, I mean, and I get it, man. So I get it. So you walk in this room, and we had talked about who we thought the Illuminati was gonna be. Big G was on it 110%. He was totally on it. You got Black Bolt, who, you know, Black Bolt can take you out with one whisper. You know what I mean? Then you had
I'm actually thinking about adopting Black Bolt's personality for the show pretty soon. I'm gonna sit here quietly.
Yeah, definitely. Then you had Doctor Strange. I mean, excuse me. You had Captain Carter, who threw her shield at Doctor Strange, which I thought was funny.
Hey, you know that
she was there,
right? You know that was Union Jack's shield. Right. So was that necessary? And that was something that I picked up on too. Was that necessarily Captain Carter? I think that was Union Jack. I think that was a different universe because that was not a Captain America shield. That was a straight up Union Jack shield.
No, it wasn't a Captain America shield by far. It wasn't. But
I mean, I feel like they're just going to intertwine the two in there when it's her. It's just like, Captain Carter.
Yeah. We already know how
taking the liberties.
They combine multiple characters, right? Yeah. And this is how they get down. So, and I think you benefit from that because, you know, if you gave the public all of these characters, everybody would be lost. I would be lost. Heck, there's too many to keep up with. If you can see this picture behind me right here, that picture, it's just so many. It's too many to really keep up with. I mean, you know, definitely. So, you know, you had you had Captain Carter sitting there, and then you had which
Captain
I think
Marvel,
would probably
basically.
been a better version, you know, and then I probably would have watched the movie.
Here we go with the hate,
know.
Max. Here we
God.
go. Here
Okay,
we go.
Mordo. Pass it up. Mordo. We're gonna start calling you Amordo.
Yeah.
Gee. Okay, yeah, we know Captain Carter. And, you know, we got Mr. Fantastic.
I'm just saying she would have been a better Captain Marvel. Yeah, okay, all right. It is. And then we got
you're gonna get a depiction of that character in the Marvels. Not necessarily, it might not necessarily be Monica Rambeau. I mean, not Monica Rambeau, her mother,
Maria
Rambeau. But you're going to get a depiction of that character as Photon in the Marvels movie.
Yeah.
So
we got it. And then of course you got Reed Richards, but she had forecast that we were going to get Reed Richards before because she said she was working in the Baxter building. Anybody who knew when they said Baxter building, I said, "Oh!"
Yep. Ding.
Everybody around me was like, "What? But I knew it. I was like, "Yes, definitely Baxter building, Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. It had to be." And then he shows up in this portal. Why does he have to be so smart? I don't understand. He's the guy, he has the garage door opener that he comes out in a portal. I'm like, really, dude?
Well, it's a throwback. It's a throwback to the comics. Why he did what he did and why Kevin Feige laid it out like that. Because that's technology that nobody else has used but two people, Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. So now you had never seen that technology ever before in the MCU. Now you got it. You know that he's going to be a little bit different. And great pick for the character. Great pick. The costume, great pick. Oh, my goodness. Great pick.
The way he delivered his lines, it just like oozed like nerd, which is perfect for Reed Richards because he really is a nerd in every sense of the word is good. Like super intellectual, super forward thinking, very well thought out. He played it great.
Yeah. And so you have Reed popping up. And then they're talking to Strange, our Doctor Strange, 616 Doctor Strange, and he's like, hey man, you were bad, man. You was out there bad. You was doing some stuff. You might not have known, but hey man, we had to go on and hey, for real. And then Professor X floats in the X-Men 97 gear. And even the music comes on, you had the fantastic. I love how they gave all of the music for all of the characters supporting. And then basically he was like, man, let's tell him the truth. Let's tell him what really happened. And then they showed him that, Black Bolt was like, I'm sorry, and just took him out. First of all, I like the telepathy waves and I like the shock waves. I like all of that they did. I thought that was dope. And then doing the Professor X thing with the waves, that was dope. I thought the biggest thing that I saw was that Illuminati battle was off the chain. I loved it for a whole bunch of different reasons. First reason, how did you guys feel about hearing Reed Richards mention his kids?
Oh yeah.
It was like
feel about
my heart stopped a little bit. I mean, when I saw the Illuminati, right, my initial reaction was like, have you ever seen the movie Angels and Demons? Yeah. You guys seen them? When McGregor just yells Illuminatus, that's what I was thinking. I wanted to scream it in the theater.
Wow.
But also, I have to give them some flack because they said, "Oh, don't worry about Wanda. We can handle it." Those were their words.
Right.
And just you fast forward like 10 minutes, it looks real bad take. Kind of like people who said Luka was going to be a bust or LeBron. Those levels of bad ideas and takes.
Yeah,
she didn't have to do it like that. I was all for her killing. She didn't have to kill him like that. You could just stop their hearts peacefully. Yeah. But she was like, no. If you like bloodlust, big win for this scene was bloodlust.
Yeah. Hey, but the mentioning of the kids, man, when he said that Franklin and Victoria Richards, I was like, oh no. Why? Well, they didn't necessarily say the kids' names. They just said, I got two kids.
He said, I got two kids.
And I got a wife. So I'm like, okay, they're really, and I want to point this out too. Mod said it that the movie was going to be comic bookish. I really do believe that for the MCU, for the first time, they were on point as far as referencing the comics. They did an outstanding job of pulling comic references that, unless you're a comic book head, you don't know it. But now I think it was a way for them to open it up to get people interested in going and starting to read those books. Because you know now it's like how Mod said. He said when he said you got 2 kids, Mod knows because the comic book. Wait a minute, one of them kids is Franklin Richards. If Franklin Richards got a tie to Agatha Harkness, Franklin Richards is a mutant. His sister is a mutant. You know, so it's like, man, these characters are coming.
Franklin Richards, for you guys who don't know, if you go and check it out, Franklin Richards is the strongest mutant that there is
ever lived.
Period.
Whose powers mimic Kevin Feige's and the ability to reshape the universe as
I mean, the boy was making universes under the cover in his bed. He's so dope that Galactus was like, "Hey, Reed, let me talk to you about your son because he got his powers back." You know what I'm saying? Your son is out there.
Number one prospect for Herald. Number 1 pick in the Herald draft that year.
Gotta have it.
And the second piece is the daughter's so smart. She's smarter than her daddy. So you put these 2 kids together, they could have came in and Wanda would have been over with. She'd have been ended right there. Matter of fact, if the little kid Franklin would have came and took Wanda out, it would have just been a wrap. But, you know, the fact that Wanda did the Matrix thing and just what mouth you talking about? You know, that Black Bolt had. Now, why did Black Bolt say anything, bro? Like, shut up. Shut up till she finished.
Reed Richards dined him out. That's the atypical nerd smart. Like, he can talk to you. And if he just would have been quiet, Black Bolt could have been like, shh, and like blew her to pieces, right? But Reed Richards thinking he's super smart and more smart than everybody. Yeah, he can speak one word. And she was like, what mouth? What is you talking about? But if he would have never dined her out, they might have had a chance. But Reed Richards thinking he's smarter, which is atypical comic book Reed Richards. Diming stuff out, talking, thinking he's smarter than everybody else. Just shut up, dude. Shut up.
Right. Should have shut up. Then she took him apart like what are those?
Like a paper shredder?
He took him apart like a Twizzler. Just it wasn't even funny and exploded his head.
She turned him into rubber bands. She turned him into rubber bands.
Man, listen. Yeah. And then at that point, you know, Captain Carter had a nice little 1-2 working until, you know, she got the shield. She got shield. She was out of it. Now, I have one problem with this whole scene. The statue killing Captain Marvel, I don't know. I don't know how that could happen. Right?
Well, I think she's just like so beaten. She can't even like turn on her powers to defend herself, right? That's what it's got to be. Because, I mean, I feel like that was round 15. She had taken like 15 body blows, like 50 headshots. And then it was like a little statue.
Well, sorry, Wanda. Wanda had to cheat.
Yeah. Wanda had to cheat. Hey. Ain't no shame in cheating. You're not cheating, you're not trying.
She had to cheat to get rid of it. And then after that, you know, the scene with Professor X, wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful.
Why was Professor X dressed like Steve Jobs?
I don't know.
I thought he was going to sell me a new iPhone during the movie. He's like, we got this new innovation. I was like, I'm not crazy, right? The turtleneck with the dad jeans?
Right, but how he entered Wanda's mind, that was a whole big play on a comic book way too, which is, like I said, Kevin Feige, even though we got Professor Xavier, this was a whole new way to see Charles Xavier for those that didn't watch him in the Fox series. So like how they did it with
watch it every Saturday.
Right, the blank slate going into her head, like he's there. He's like, wait a minute, maybe if I can just get you out of this rubble, you know. But pay attention to this point. Why did he go back to the point where she was a kid in WandaVision? She was an adult, but it was really a kid where her power surfaced. Why was that a reference point?
That's because that Wanda had trapped the other Wanda in that place.
Yep, right? I think so. I think so. I think that was the point of the manifestation of her powers, really what they were. Now, if we're going to see if she's actually was cursed by Chthon, which they're leading at, but they also left the door open for her to be a mutant. And I knowing Kevin Feige, he gonna combine them. He's gonna say that she's got some type of ability, but she was cursed by Chthon. That's what I think. But how she got hauled out, how that red smoke came in there, and she hauled Professor Xavier out, man. It was like quick. Hey, it's a wrap. It was
crazy. It was a wrap. So I mean, I think as we move through, another part that really made me mad is when you open the door, right? Close that mug. You know what I'm saying? I mean, close that mug behind you, dog. You know, you already said it was a callback to where you were fighting the monster in the very beginning. And she said, "Did you kill it?" He's like, "No, it just slowed it down." Same thing you just did to Wanda. You just slowed her down.
Hey, I got
the door.
I got a question to ask though. That's huge. But did y'all peep something in the whole Illuminati scene? There were 7 chairs. When you go back and you watch the movie again, there was not 6. It was 7. Strange. I mean, Xavier was in the middle. There was an empty chair. Whose chair was that? Whose chair was it? They left. I'm telling you, go back and watch it. There were 7 chairs.
So who are you thinking?
Oh, I know who it is. It's Nathan Richards. It's the superior Iron Man. That's who it was. That's who had the Ultron bots. But we're gonna see that later on. That's just a bold prediction from Big G. That was Nathan Richards.
There's a Big G prediction there. There's a Big G prediction. So we move on. Wanda actually succeeds. We're just gonna jump to this part. Wanda succeeds. She gets America Chavez, and America Chavez is ripe for the picking because she doesn't know how to control her power at this point. And Wanda, takes Wong to Wendigo Mountain. She finds out about Wendigo, takes Wong to Wendigo Mountain, holds Wong out, throws him over the cliff, and these animals are bowing down to her. And at this point, she said everything was about getting her kids. Max made a great point. It was about getting your kids, bro. You could have. Yeah, why is it that everybody else has to suffer for you to get your kids? Come on, stop tripping. You know what I mean? But the gist of the matter is that, and even Dr. Strange asked her the question, well, what about the mother in that universe where you taking those kids? You know what I'm saying? What about her? And she didn't think about her. And I think it was good in the very end, because we're going to jump to the end. And, Dr. Strange used the dark hole. The dark hole takes a heavy task, a heavy toll, and it was going to change him in some way. We knew it. And he did change. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But then he took possession of that body and turned into Zombie Strange from What If. And he came and kind of coached America up to where she allowed Wanda to get everything she wanted. Right? And sometimes when you get everything you want, you find out it wasn't what you want, especially if you didn't get it the way you were supposed to get it. Right? And so she was in there and she was like, I'm not a monster. And the kids were like, get away from me. You're not my mama.
You are 100% a monster.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Like, not debatable.
And it was crazy that the other Wanda had pity on her and was like, listen, I'll take care of them. They're loved.
Yeah.
And at that point, she snapped out of it and was like, I'm going to make sure that the dark hole never, ever, ever, ever tempts anybody again. Now, here's where our first question comes in from the viewer, and I want to read it because I want to make sure that I have everything here that they asked. The question was, if the dark hole is destroyed, is all of the dark hole spells broken? And what happens now to Agatha? Because she was under a spell that Wanda casted after she got the dark hole.
That's a great question. Maybe he's right, and maybe he or she's right, and the dark spell broke, and that's how you're going to get House of Agatha. Or you could say, there's still those writings on the wall. They're not based the dark hole in this universe, or maybe it's all universes. It wasn't really just a book. It was based off wall, like the pictures on the wall and the spells on the wall.
Well, think about it. The ruins on the wall, everything was destroyed, and the books in every universe was destroyed. in every universe.
Yeah, but are those temples destroyed as well?
Right. So was the spell broke?
I'd go with yeah.
No, that's not what. So check this out. Check this out. The Darkhold's a copy. The book in the comic book is a copy, right? The Darkhold is a place or a location. It's actually the place that which they made the reference point. Chthon scripted the Darkhold because he was free from another dimension. So go back, rewind, watch the movie. As the castle was crumbling, because the actual place of the Darkhold is inside the mountain, it's the catacombs or the caves. You saw Wanda blink red, and then you saw it come down, right? What she did, ladies and gentlemen, and trust and believe, when you see Wanda next, she freed Chthon. Chthon is an elder god. Just like how you've already seen through Moon Knight and all whatever else, she freed him. She teleported him into our universe. So you're going to see Chthon have a huge part, which is going to set Wanda up for the House of M, because that's where they're going with Wanda Maximoff. There's no way they're killing off Miss Olsen as a character. You're going to see full-blown Scarlet Witch for real coming. Like you saw her like be like angry and mad. Now you're going to see her pacified and subdued with a reference to Chthon. So the Darkhold, the book, the copies are going, but the location and the place, it can't be, because Chthon is still out. He cast a spell on himself and locked himself in another dimension. But that Joker's freed up now. So you better believe that that place is jumping off.
So
but the question is what happens to the spell? Is Agatha Harkness free?
No. Well, it depends. It depends, because the spell that was passed on Agatha Harkness was not based on the Darkhold. It was based on Wanda's magic, because she put her inside of ruins. Right? Remember, ruins you can't, if you're a witch,
Well, the
you
ruins
can't
are gone,
fight.
though.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yes,
the
they
Darkhold
are, because the hex was gone.
No.
Yeah, I think she's free. I think that's how it sets it up. That's just
yes.
I agree with what you're saying, though, G, about the Darkhold and Chthon. But I think, you were talking about this next version of Scarlet Witch. I just want to say, too, you said she was going to die. Now you're flipping it. You're not going to kill Miss Olsen. In the prediction, you said it. Just calling you out.
But I thought she was going to die or get injured real bad. That's what I said.
I mean, she's probably injured, though. I agree. She's injured. But so, like, the next Scarlet Witch we're going to get, like, you know how the comic one is, like the early comics one, she's kind of unstable. Is just that what we're going to get now?
Yeah.
Like, she's a little unstable, and that's how House of M's going to happen.
I think what you're going to get is you're going to get a more subtle, more serene, more focused version of her. And I think if she did free Chthon at this moment, because we did see her magic blink as everything was being collapsed on each other. So I think she went somewhere else, and it could have been when she was leaving, accidentally she freed the Chthon, and I think she won't be fighting with him or under his control. I think she'll be fighting against him with everybody else when we have to do when we end up having to get back to this whole thing. So when it comes down to it, to me, I think I know in my heart of hearts, and I agree with you on this one, Max, that I think we ended up getting a free version of Agatha Harkness with those spells. So, in my mind, I think that's what we got. And definitely the end credit scenes, we got Clea showing up, and Clea was like, yo, you caused an incursion. We need your help. Are you up to the task? Are you scared? And, Clea's Doctor Strange's love interest. So, I think at this point, because in the comic books, they're married, right? And she even, cast a little spell on paper that, kind of was supposed to help Doctor Strange, because, he died eventually. But, when it gets down to it,
Clea's Dormammu's niece, too. For those that have been following the show, Dormammu's niece is Clea.
Right. So I think that was a kind of novel ending. I mean, because I don't think, like Max said, I don't think we're gonna get the payoff for that for another year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So
No, yeah.
I mean, another year and a half, we're gonna get the payoff for that. So it's like I would have rather us went into another series. But okay, all right, it's cool. And then the second scene with the guy finally, the spell finally working or saying it's over, but they used that as a way to say that the movie was over too.
Right.
They kind of doubled up on that. I don't, like I said, these end credit scenes to me, we could have left them. Y'all could have left them and gave us something else other than that. All in all, movie grade. What do you give the movie? And I'll start off with Big G. Big G, give me a grade on the movie.
9.6, 9.7. 1 or 2 all-time Marvel. As far as storyline, tying everything together, introducing new characters, building a new universe out, gotta be 1 or 2 top movie. 9.7.
9.7, okay. And you said top 2, definitely top 5. Okay. All right, Max, what do you give the movie in a rating?
8.7, 8.5, 8.7. Let's go 8.7. Top between somewhere between 4 and 7 in the MCU in the movie rankings.
Okay. All right. And I think if I had to give it a movie grade, I would give it a 9. I'm holding off from the 9.3. It's still it's top 5. I think it's the second rated Marvel movie. Reason because it's, like I said, it was a comic book movie. It definitely stuck to the script, stuck to the story. It told a wonderful story, and I think that they kind of put it all together. I mean, heck, you had how many hours? 10 hours of movie already ready. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous. So this movie was easy. It was a layup. And speaking of movies that we got coming, man, definitely we got some news on Captain America 4 today. That we got some reports that the script is being wrote by I think it's Marcus Spellman. Marcus Spellman was the director of the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I really think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then they changed it to Captain America. I really think having him as a writer and bringing him back, that series itself is in the top 10 of all Marvel films to me. I think it was really, really good. They're saying the early rumors out of this whole thing is we're going to get a team up out of this one. We're going to get a team up with the character we just saw, and that's Moon Knight. So Moon Knight will be in an actual movie, and we're going to get a team up with Falcon, definitely Captain America, who is Mackie, played by Mackie, and the Winter Soldier, Bucky. So you're going to get a team up, and it'll be against the Secret Empire. And of course, we're headed towards with the Secret Empire. You're headed towards some different stuff, and it's on Earth kind of thing. So and I think the plot was here. They have Thor's hammer, and and when they were going back doing everything, there was a version of them who had collected stuff and was moving, because Captain America had to go and get it from him. It was like Hail Hydra and that whole scene right there. He had to go get Loki's staff. But I won't use it as Thor's hammer. But they had Thor's hammer in the very beginning in Thor. I think was it Thor, the first one, the first Thor, where they had Thor's hammer. Yes, first Thor. They had the.
Think so.
He said,
his shield. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he is worthy to have the power of Thor. So they had Thor's hammer. So I think, they'll use it there. I think it's dope. They're writing the movie. Ain't no ETA on when it will be seen. Nobody's saying, when production is going to start. But it's the same thing that you got with the it's the same exact thing that you got with Black Widow. It was reported for a long time. Everybody knew it. And then all of a sudden they started production on it. So that's the wrap on that. And I love the fact that they're, like I said, I love the fact that they're going to bring this to the big screen. I think this is one that needs to come to the big screen. Loki, not so much, but definitely Captain America. I mean, Captain America gave you one of the best in Civil War, and Winter Soldier. Those are two of the best Marvel movies, right? So you gotta kind of give us another one of those, even though you don't have Chris Evans. What do you think about this, Max?
I think it's an interesting idea having Moon Knight go hang out with Captain America and Winter Soldier. I think that'll be interesting, especially Bucky. He's kind of like a no-nonsense guy. I feel like he could get real tired of the Stephen Mark, Jake stuff. But, I think season 2 of Moon Knight will happen before that. You can't go into that movie not knowing how, like, Jake's there. That'd be crazy if they made that movie and, like, they just don't even mention Jake.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a stronger Moon Knight because Jake is going to possess a whole nother skill set. G, what do you think about this coming to the big screen?
Well, I mean, Captain America 4 was going to happen anyway because of the movie title or the movie ties that Anthony Mackie has to Marvel. I think he signed a contract where he's got 12 total things that he's got to appear in. As of now, with Phase 4, we've only got him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So he's got a lot of movies and a lot of stuff to do. So you knew that was coming. But that's also telling you how he's going to play a pivotal role in a bunch of other stuff. But the thing is that, just to not so much read into what the announcements of the titles are or the movies that's going to be created, but as Marvel fans to start looking at how all this stuff ties together, right? In order to build up what they're going to, you got to start tying titles and shows and all this other stuff together. So I think now, I think the first tie-in you're going to see is with the Miss Marvel thing. You're going to see some tie-in to this Doctor Strange movie. And they're going to start, it's almost like lacing up a shoe. You start with those first 2 eyelets and you got to go and lace it through. So when you get to the end, you can tie it in a big bow. So I think you're going to start seeing the eyelets with Miss Marvel that's coming in June where stuff starts tying together. And eventually we'll get to Anthony Mackie because I personally believe or think that he's going to be in Black Panther 2. So it's going to be some huge stuff going on with him that you're going to tie in and start bringing this whole thing together.
Yeah, I think you're going to see him either in the end credit scene or in something to do in Black Panther 2. I think so as well. Max, tying everything in a nice little bow. Give me your final thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. G kind of went on that a little bit, but what do you think for moving forward? What's going to happen with these 2 characters?
Do you want me to make this like my
happen
parting shot? Should I make this my parting shot?
It's your parting shot.
I think we're just getting on the cusp of the multiverse, and I think we'll see more of that in Quantumania. I think Doctor Strange, we've talked about it so many times, and the way Marvel's talked about Benedict Cumberbatch, he's one of the key guys. He's filling the Chris Evans, our Robert Downey role. I think Doctor Strange is going to get to a whole new level of sorcery that we haven't seen yet, and I think what Wanda did, he's going to be able to do ×2 that. So the character's going to move forward. He's going to learn from Clea, and we're going to finally see him confront Dormammu, I think, and Mordo in the next one.
Yeah,
I like it. G, you kind of gave us a little bit of it moving forward, but what do you think that you're going to see with these 2 characters, Wanda, Doctor Strange, and where do you think this is headed for, where we're headed in the Marvel Universe, in the MCU?
Wanda definitely, like I've already said, House of M is coming, tied to Agatha Harkness, tied to the whole mutant story. But Doctor Strange, I want to point out, man, that third eye is open. And now that third eye is open, he can pull on dark magic now, which is going to set up a whole nother realm, like the guys are saying, for Doctor Strange. And it's going to be interesting to see, does at one point Doctor Strange take on a villain role? Because he has the potential now, because he's filled with dark magic. That's the third eye. The actual third eye is the eye of Agamotto. So the chain that he wears around his neck, the actual third eye that he's opening up on his head is the eye of Agamotto. Do not forget Agamotto, because I think in Doctor Strange 2, you're going to see a reference to who Agamotto actually is. He was the original Sorcerer Supreme in the comic books.
Yeah. So in my parting shot, what I would like to say is that I think, just like Max said, they are really high on Benedict Cumberbatch, right? They want to use him as the face of the. I mean, one, they wanted to use T'Challa, or the actor that played Black Panther, and make him the face of the Marvel universe. Well, him with Chadwick being gone, and us having to recast, Black Panther. I think now you can't use Black Panther in a way in which you wanted to, and make him the linchpin of the whole MCU. So I think the MCU is going to kind of move through Doctor Strange. I think this was the middle piece of the puzzle that Max referred to. That you got this big middle piece that you set down, and everything is going to connect to it in outside ways, right? And they're building from the outside in. They gave you the middle piece. You had the corner piece in all these other movies like The Eternal, Shang-Chi. You have those corner pieces, and you set them, but you just got the middle piece with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And you guys, listen, like I said earlier, I'll say it again. You must understand, Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. You had Sam Raimi, who directed the movie. It was going to be dark. And like I said, if you hadn't seen it, make sure you don't take your kids to see it. It's just not a movie where the kids could see. You have kids that grew up with Marvel, right? And those kids that grew up with Marvel, who started with the first Iron Man, are almost close to their 20s now, or should be in their 20s. So they're ready for this. They're ripe for this. They're ready, and they're like, yo, I like it. They got it in the comic books, and they're on. But, like I said, it's gonna get darker. You got Werewolf by Night coming in October. You got, of course, we just had Moon Knight, right? So you had Egyptian deities that were in there. So you're going to get those, right? And Lord forbid if they give you Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is a virtual demon. I mean, what do you think? What do you think that you're going to get? We're done with the Captain Americas. We're done with the characters that you relate to that are just like good characters like that, right?
Yeah.
And the MCU is moving towards the anti-hero. So you're going to see a lot of dark stuff. I hate to tell you guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, Thor Love and Thunder may get you back, because Thor Love and Thunder is going to be a great movie. Although Gore is going to be dark, Thor Love and Thunder may bring you back. Who knows? We'll see next month. We'll see in June.
Yep.
We want to thank you guys for being a part of the show. And definitely, like I said, like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Definitely leave your comments and concerns there, and we will get to them. Make sure you, like I said, if you comment and you have a question, just like we addressed the question this week, which was a great one, by the way, we will definitely address your question. For myself, for Big G, and for Max, we thank you guys for watching. We out of here. Peace.